You're now listening to the Shipper's Toolbox, presented by Refund Retriever. Alright, hey guys, it's Brian from Refund Retriever, and today we're going to talk about something that we've never really talked about before. Not FedEx and UPS. We're going to talk about regional parcel carriers and what you really need to know. So, when it comes to shipping a package, typically you think of the big guys. So do we. FedEx, UPS, USPS. In fact, if you haven't considered or really looked at these other regional carriers, you might really be missing out on some valuable savings and leaving money on the table. These regional parcel carriers are delivery companies that are more flexible, they're local, and sometimes more responsive than national carriers. They could be faster, they could be cheaper, and everybody really needs to kind of know what they are and give them an option sometimes and take a look at them. So, regional carriers are, LSO, Dicom, Courier Express, etc. They offer a reliable parcel delivery service at rates that are up to 40% less sometimes than national carriers. And they do have a guarantee on the packages. They focus on certain geographic regions that translate into, lower costs for shippers because they can leverage that region to their own network and come out on top. So where do regional parcel carriers deliver? So, these carriers typically they do ship to commercial and residential addresses, but the bulk of where they ship to is going to be only a handful of states and basically zones 2, 3, and 4. So, within 200, 300, 400 miles of their main area. So, who are some of the regional players? So we have Courier Express, Dicom, GSO, International Bridge. LaserShip is a big one. Here in Texas, we have LSO, formerly Lone Star Overnight. On Track. Up north, you have the Speedy Delivery Service, United Delivery Service in Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin. That's kind of the Chicagoland area. Pitt, Ohio. That's, DC, Delaware, Indiana, Maryland, New Jersey, New York. So really wherever you're at, there's only a few states that honestly do not have a regional parcel carrier option. And those are states that do not have a huge center of population that can be serviced. So what are some benefits using these carriers? Number one, cost reduction. So there's a reduction of accessorial fees or surcharges. Many of them have no residential, delivery area surcharge, delivery area extended surcharge, or really outrageous dimensional weight fees. Some of them, or most of them, pretty much, they're going to have some sort of dim factor now. Anybody in the regional carrier game is going to, or anybody in the parcel carrier game is going to have a dim of some type, but they might not be as high as the 139 currently with FedEx and UPS. They're going to have higher on-time delivery rates many times because they're going to have more flexibility and more knowledge of local areas. So there's going to be times where they're able to get into places that the larger carriers can't, or there's some reason that they just have more knowledge of that location. They're going to have faster delivery times, so better customer service. You're going to also be able to reach more locations with a ground option, usually than like in 2 days than with FedEx or UPS ground. You can use a ground service and not have to go express. Also, going to be additional delivery options that they may offer. Some offer Saturday and deliveries that FedEx and UPS won't. And also, when peak season rolls around and say FedEx and UPS really get slammed, you might be able to lean on one of your regional carriers to deliver a certain number of your packages through their network that is not as spiked, it's not as bogged down as FedEx and UPS. Of course, there are going to be drawbacks to these smaller carriers. Number one, smaller coverage area than FedEx, UPS. That's the biggest one I can think of. Some of them have a limitation of service offerings. They don't have as many different 2-day, 3-day. Some of them might just be next day air or ground. Also, this is going to be just another vendor or another lane that you're going to have to maintain a relationship with. It's going to be added operational exposure for you guys. Also, you might need a little bit more employee education needed to ship efficiently with this new lane. There's going to be some business rules that you're going to have to adhere to of what goes with the regional carrier and what goes with FedEx or UPS and what goes with USPS. There's many different shipping platforms out there that you can integrate these regional carriers into to help you figure this out and move along more effectively. All right, so what service levels are available? So with regional shipping carriers, typically ground. That's going to be the biggest one, and because a lot of the times, the regional shipping carriers can deliver ground packages the next day with a ground solution that FedEx and UPS cannot. We are in Houston, Texas, and there's certain parts of North Texas, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, a little farther out, that a FedEx and a UPS ground service will not get there tomorrow. Most of it will get there tomorrow with a ground service, but some of it won't. With a LSO, pretty much everything in North Texas from Houston, you'll probably hit next day. There's also express services, so if you need that early AM option or an express economy option, it's available. There's also 100-weight, multiple-weight package groupings, and some of them even have postal hybrids like a UPS SurePost or a FedEx SmartPost. That hybrid is also available with the regional shipper. A lot of people are going to ask, will FedEx and UPS get mad at this? Well, it's yes and no. FedEx and UPS, they want all of your business. They don't want you to use anybody but FedEx and UPS. So you have to look at, it's going to be a case-by-case basis where the reduction in your FedEx and UPS volume could affect your overall discount with these major carriers. Because you got to remember that your shipping discounts many times, 99% of the times, are going to be tied to your volume levels. So if you have less volume going to FedEx or UPS, you could drop a point or two with your express or ground discounts. This is really a case-by-case basis. If you want us to look at kind of what your current shipping levels are and your current contracts, we can see if there's going to be a significant change if you move some of those over to the zone 2 and 3s. So how does somebody get started with a regional shipping carrier? So once you've identified what regional carrier you want to explore, you need data. This data needs, weights, service levels that you're using, zip codes, address details. You want to give them as much information that they can look at to see, okay, what packages are they shipping out and what kind of volume influx are we going to see to give them the proper rate. The same thing if you're going from FedEx or UPS. You need to give them some data, but you don't want to give them all the data. So if you want us to take a look at it, we can scrub the data for you to take out certain points, anonymize some of it. If you don't want any of your customer data divulged, we can help with that too. We can scrub the data to give a secondary carrier the information that they need in order to give you the proper bid. Also, if you really want us to look at your current shipping profile, determine what packages can be converted over regionally, feel free to reach out to us. I'm Brian. Our phone number is 800-441-8085. My email address is brian@refundretriever.com. And if you have any questions about this, or also check out our blog at refundretriever.com. We wrote some of this up. We have lists of all the carriers. We have a really cool little map of where all these regional carriers are located that Elahi came up with. Feel free to check that out. And if you have any questions for us, reach out, 800-441-8085. Thanks a lot. Thank you for joining us on the Shipper's Toolbox. If you have any questions, visit our website, refundretriever.com. Feel free to reach out to us, 800-441-8085, for anything related to your FedEx or UPS invoices. Have a great day.